I got invited by Square Enix to play the Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales early. It was a really good time. So today I'm going to talk to you about my impressions, how the game plays, some really interesting notes from the developer, and why I think you're going to want to look out for this game. I'm going to show you footage from the build we got to play at Square Enix office they graciously provided us with today. And the first thing that comes to mind is just how beautiful this aesthetic is, as you can see on the screen. If you don't know, this game is made by Team Asano, the developers who made Octopath Traveler, Triangle Strategy, and they are famed for this HD 2D style, which has now been just really taken in by the industry. And there's been a lot of people who've embraced it and even made their own games in this style. That's how amazing Team Asano is. So immediately you're going to notice a similar aesthetic, but in this case, as opposed to turn-based combat, you're going to have this amazing exploration action RPG combat, which is a really fun twist. As you can see, there's amazing exploration and sort of like treasure hunting going on the map, and then of course once you get inside the dungeons, just amazing puzzles, really joyous exploration and puzzle solving with your companion character, who I'll get more into later. One of the fun things about it was just this the feeling of being able to explore. My mind instantly went to, like, this feels like Zelda, this feels like old school Link's Awakening, A Link to the Past Zelda, and it's so much fun. And interestingly enough, the game's producer, Naofumi Matsushita, says that he actually was inspired by the Mana games for the gameplay, though he does not mind these comparisons to other amazing games. The quote was, I'm getting this from Genki on Twitter, "The gameplay feel we were aiming for was inspired by the Mana series, particularly the Game Boy version of Final Fantasy Adventure. So I hope players will be able to experience the unique kind of enjoyment that has grown out of that foundation. At the same time, I think players are free to share whatever impressions they have, including saying that the game reminds them of other titles. From our perspective, we don't view those comments as either positive or negative. We're simply grateful to receive all feedback with an open and neutral mindset. Above all, we hope as many people as possible will try the game for themselves. We look forward to hearing a wide variety of impressions." If you're a fan of the Mana series, this is gonna just sit right at home with you. Another big shout out I have to make, and a big standout from my experience, is the music. The music in this game is very well done. Again, when you talk about Octopath Traveler, mind instantly goes to the incredible soundtrack, right? So that's no stranger to this soundtrack as well. That sort of energy and just grandiosity of that orchestra recording is brought over here, and I think that also lent it to that grand feeling. Again, that reminded me of Zelda or something like that. But in this modern tone with a full orchestra, that adventure, that sort of whimsicality, and that joy to the exploration. So it was very fun. And the other thing that I really liked is there's a really robust weapon system. That's not as simple as just like, oh, what kind of build do you want? It actually goes into like Zelda, assigning these weapons to specific buttons. And this was such a cool system. They gave us a wide variety of tools and weapons to try in this build. For example, you could have like a spear or a sword on your square or triangle buttons for the PlayStation, which is what we played on PS5. And it was really cool to be cycling through and shifting through each of these tools. But then there were certain puzzles and certain enemies that lent themselves better to taking out a bomb and throwing it at them and just watching it explode. So, and again, some of the puzzles required you switching these different items, which I thought was really clever, and just a really cool way to play with that idea of creating builds, which also, of course, brings more replay value to the game. If you're saying, oh, this time I'm going to run and really play around with the spear. I love the spear in this game. Just beautiful. Keeping the enemies at a distance and just controlling them with the spear was, I mean, just like a real spear, incredibly effective. And I love that each weapon felt so different. Whereas the sword felt like I was playing Link to the Past or something. Just like classic kind of side swipe of the sword. And it was really fun. There's also a shield, and it just makes for totally different gameplay depending on what you're doing, which you can also have your mind go to how that is going to play in to some of the later game stuff and dungeons. So just a really solid gameplay. And then one more note on the gameplay is this awesome fairy companion character who's going to actually be with you the entire game, who you can control with the right joystick. As you control your character with the left joystick, you can actually have her light on fire as you unlock her abilities in the dungeons and you discover them. It's so cool. You can get one where she lights on fire and then you can just have her burn enemies and like kind of distract them for a second before you finish them off. super cool and really unique idea. I really like this aspect of the gameplay, and again, just made me think of the possibilities. She also has a teleport ability that I was able to unlock in the build and able to use in the dungeons, where like there was a bunch of platforms that I had to get to, and I was able to use her teleport ability to kind of jump me over to those platforms to solve the puzzle. Really fun stuff. And again, just, you know, we've played a lot of games that have awesome dungeons. Let's use these new mechanics now to make a totally creative and unique view on it. Unique take on that system. So it was very fun in that respect. As far as the gameplay, really good. And I had heard actually that the team is taking incredible feedback. I had not played the first build that had come out of this game a while ago, but I was told by others who did that they've increased the movement speed of the main character, and they've taken a lot of feedback like that, just like instantly applying it to the game, what the fans wanted who were able to check it out, and just taking that player feedback. Again, huge green light for me, right? When you hear a developer do that, let's hear what the playtesting says and just instantly improve the game. Huge, right? That's the sort of promising stuff that you want to hear, which just tells you about the game when on release day, this game is just going to be absolutely in perfect shape, because it already plays like a dream. It just has this beautiful diorama look that you know, of course, from Octopath Traveler, this studio who really invented that aesthetic as far as I'm concerned and really perfected it. And it has that same just absolutely whimsical kind of feeling, like you're almost playing with toys as a kid. It's this glorious tilt shift depth of field that evokes that childhood feeling, like you're looking down at sort of miniatures. That's the effect of the tilt shift lens, and it's so much fun, and it has that kind of charm to it. Which is just magical, and also has a little bit of cinematic sense because of that. So I really like it. Of course, still containing this charming sort of sprite pixel art style. So it's a really cool combination. And again, if you haven't played the Octopath games, I think you're really going to be in for a treat if it's your first experience with this, because in an age where there's a lot of photoreal graphics and things of that nature, it's just such a unique aesthetic, and it's a real nice change, and just a beautiful step into variety. Another quote from Asano is, "Through the HD 2D visual style, we first explored the RPG genre with Octopath Traveler, followed by the strategy genre with Triangle Strategy. Building on that progression, we wanted to reach an even broader, newer audience with this latest entry, which let us adopt the action RPG genre for this title. The project was originally greenlit as a new IP, with the genre being determined later for the reason mentioned above." So yeah, I love the aesthetic of Octopath Traveler. I'm so glad though that they're exploring different ideas within that aesthetic, and okay, let's get this game that's not turn-based, for example. I think it's fantastic. It's not to say they're not going to make more Octopath games or more turn-based games in the same style, but I think it's really good that they are kind of pushing the boundaries and experimenting, which is in a lot of cases what brings about some really amazing games from studios. I'll also mention the town. It was really fun to explore the town in the demo and talk to the NPCs and everything. Demo was mostly focused on gameplay, so there wasn't a ton of story, but again, knowing Octopath and the other titles they've worked on, you know there's going to be a great story, and it's going to be a big aspect of the game. But yeah, we had a great time. Me and my wife Aaliyah got to go to the office and play. Just an absolute joy, and it was great to be able to get our hands on it. And I'd seen a trailer or two from this and really liked the look of it. And yeah, it met all expectations as far as that gameplay. And like I said, the kind of pleasant surprise was that it had reminded me of some old, really celebrated adventure games, like the old Zeldas and everything. And yeah, I think that sort of gameplay is in fantastic hands here. And like I said, the other big shining star of my gameplay is the music. You guys know I'm a big music fan. I love Final Fantasy for the music, and a lot of Square Enix games, Chrono Cross, Chrono Trigger, Nier, and yeah, this is up to the standard. It was really a standout, and I found myself a couple of times just like, wow, just pausing and listening to the music through the headphones is really amazing. So yeah, we both enjoyed it very much. I also want to express lastly, there was a decent sort of feeling of freedom in this game, where you could just kind of explore a huge section of the map, and kind of go and do your own thing, and go and use your weapons in different ways and solve puzzles and everything. So that's another reason I really enjoyed it. It wasn't just like, go do this dungeon and then go here. It was like, yeah, just go explore, do whatever you want. And they even had like fast travel available to us in this build and stuff. So it was really, really fun. Again, there's a lot of tools, as you can see on the screen. For example, we have the hammer, the boomerang, the spear, just really, really cool stuff. Even a bow, and it just brings so much variety to the gameplay. It literally felt like a different game when I switched the spear from the sword, and I was like, okay. And it's gonna change your strategy completely on how you approach these dungeons. And like I said, I'm sure they'll also make you utilize all these weapons to progress in certain ways while allowing freedom. So it was very fun. Those are my thoughts on the game. I hope you guys enjoyed the footage provided by Square Enix today. Shout out to them. We had so much fun going to the office, as always, to check this out early. And we got a lot more Square Enix content on the way, man. Look forward to it, guys. Look forward to it. So yes, those are my thoughts. Make sure to sub if you want to see more content like this, more cinematic breakdowns of games like Final Fantasy and other Square Enix titles. And I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you so much, Square Enix, for having us.